Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hey, friend, welcome back to the podcast. I hope you are just reveling in the beauty that is June, wherever you are in the world. School is out, the sun is shining, the peonies are completed with being harvested, but whew, are they sharing their goodness far and wide? I am currently in the throes of blissful preparation for my summer solstice white party, and I have probably 500 peonies that are going to adorn this table and this tent, and I'm so excited. I'm just twirling around in my bliss all day long, every day, which is my typical MO, but this time I'm doing it with peonies in my hair, and it's as dreamy as it sounds. So I hope you are finding ways to celebrate whatever you find dreamy today. And I thank you so much that a part of what feels good and supportive and dreamy to you is listening to this podcast. So thank you so much. You are in for an absolute treat today. My guest is Jan Goss. And I have to tell you, ever since this interview, which was a few months ago, we have had so many conversations. She's such a love. I know you are going to want more of her. So be sure to check the links down in the show notes to connect with her. She has this beautiful alignment assessment coming out that I just did a beta test with her for it, and it's so great, and I know you're going to love it as well. So let me tell you about the fabulous Jan Goss. She is not your average speaker. She is a powerhouse executive, protocol consultant, best-selling author, and media personality who helps leaders lead well, live well, and show up as their very best selves. After the age of 40, she built 4 successful businesses, including 13 years in real estate, the Austin School of Protocol, then went nationwide as Civility Consulting. She founded Show Up Well Consulting in 2023 and has never looked back. Please enjoy this uplifting, inspiring, fun conversation with my friend, Jan Goss. Jan, I already know this is going to be a phenomenal conversation. I've stopped you in mid-sentence more than once just so I could hit record and capture this beautiful goodness. I think there's so much richness in these conversations, and I'm honored to be sharing it. I'm honored to be sharing this space with you. Thank you so much for being here.
Listen, I got to meet you today. I'm so excited.
It's so fun.
It's
so
like
fun.
My new bestie. I got to meet her today.
I know. It's great. And I saw you briefly in November when you handed me your fabulous book. And I'm so excited to be connected now and so excited about this conversation.
Me too.
So let's start by, I would love to know, how are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
What a beautiful question that is.
Yeah.
And it only took me decades to say yes to myself. So I'm not the fastest learner in the class. Let me just raise my hand and say that right up front.
You're in the right room.
So many ways I'm saying yes to myself. First of all, I am saying yes to every part of myself, not
Same
just the
here.
shiny, cute little Jan Goss that loves to be on camera and on stage and, Shirley Temple Dance or whatever that is.
Right?
And I love that part of me. I
Hmm.
do. It's God given.
Yeah.
And so the piece though that I'm saying yes to myself about is that all of the parts are delicious.
Hmm.
Where things grow is in the dirt.
That's right.
That's where good things grow. So I've been playing making mud pies. I've been playing in the dirt and really looking at all the different aspects and parts of me. And instead of going into any kind of guilt or blame or shame, loving this beautiful human that I am, this beautiful girl. And I don't mean that in a vanity way at all. It's real. It's
Right.
real. It's a true self-love that comes from within that makes you just want to like pinch your own cheeks and go, oh my God, love you,
Yes.
Jan Goss. I love you so much.
Right. Right.
So that's
And
how I'm saying yes to me right now.
I love that. And I love that beautiful definition of that because I think there comes a point in every woman's life. There are many seasons of our lives, but there does come a tipping point, certainly for me, certainly for my listeners, where we're just like taking a pause and saying, wait a minute, what would it look like if I stopped performing? What would it look like if I turned some of this caregiving energy inward? What would it look like to be high on my own supply? What would it be, like to be,
Okay, wait, I'm stealing that one. Hold
right?
on.
You may.
That's a Wendyism.
There it is. Because and I have said this for many years, it's so fun to be me. Like it really is. And that has zero to do with perfection.
I agree.
I
I
just am
agree, Wendy.
obsessed with my life. And I was obsessed with my life when it wasn't even as great as it is now, but it was as good. I was reaching for the highest branch I could see. And
Yes.
as I continued to do
Beautifully
that,
said.
thank you.
Beautifully said. Can we just pause on that one? I was
Yeah,
reaching for the highest branch I could see. Like, be kind to ourselves in that process.
right,
We
right,
can't, blind people can't see. What are you going to do? Be mad at them because they can't see,
oh,
including ourselves?
right.
We can only see what we can see. And so, how beautifully said that was.
Thank you. My mentor, Kathy Heller, says that all the time. And it does resonate. And once I learned that I didn't have to wait for those branches to be presented to me, I could reach, then my
Mhm.
view expanded,
Beautiful.
my perspective expanded. There is more and more and more here for me. And I
Infinite.
am satisfied with what is, and I am eager for more.
So good. So good. It's a life of joy
Yes.
because it's not a life controlled by external circumstances. And this is learned behavior. So
Correct.
we have to be willing to look at all the parts
Yes.
and see what's working and what is just it's not, it's kind of that Dr. Phil thing, how's that working for you, Jan? You like
Exactly.
beating your head against that wall?
Right.
So
And like you said, to welcome all of those parts with compassion, with
great compassion.
like I'm just being so I am in a beautiful opportunity for growth and expansion with
Mhm.
my 12-year-old right now. And it's a
Yes.
gorgeous invitation
Hmm.
because I'm not 12, right? So I
Hmm.
have perspective. And when I hear the what I would consider dramatic language associated with the experience. Um, I have compassion for her, and I can see like, okay, this is really big to
Mhm.
you. This is the biggest thing you can imagine.
I
And
know their little hearts.
I know, and I see you in that. And just, I see you. And the other thing that I did, and I think that this is also what I can do for myself, what we collectively can do for ourselves, I made a shift in my parenting goal that I used to desire information so that I could understand what was going on. So then I could create my action plan. With these bigger feelings and these big words, I have decided that my parenting plan is to create a container that's very supportive to her,
Mhm.
and that it is not her job to make me understand. Like
Uh-huh.
that is understand, trying to understand. It sounds nice, and I meant it nicely until I realized I don't, it's not fair to have her soothe me so that I can soothe her. Like that's just dumb. How about I just create a space where she feels supportive and I stay in my own lane and do my work to soothe myself. And in that practice and in that modeling, show her how she can soothe herself as well. It's just this, I've been focusing on this year of this idea of unconditional alignment, where I am feeling one with God,
Mhm.
regardless of what is going on
Mhm.
in our country, in my city, in on this airplane, in my house. I want to prioritize my alignment
Mhm.
regardless of the
That's
situation.
a smart focus. It
Thank
is. And you're welcome for the therapy session because I think you just had it.
you. Yes,
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much. Thank you. Yes, it's just good to be in this place of expansion.
Absolutely.
It's a gift.
Absolutely. Well,
Oh,
it's happening whether or not you're going with it or not. So might as well learn to go with the flow
yes. And how are you doing that?
thoughtfully, contemplatively. I spend a lot of time being quiet.
Mhm.
It's a very noisy world. And at this stage and season of my life, I'm not raising 13 kids at a time. I raised over 50 foster children. So
Oh,
if
my
you want to
word.
talk parenting, we could have some combos about that one.
I bet
Okay.
we could.
And I'm not at that season anymore. So I live with myself. I was widowed in 2020 very suddenly.
Mhm.
And that shifts everything when you don't have a human in the house with you.
Right.
And so it is me and my little Westie, me and my dog.
Aw.
And my life is full. It's full of people. It's full of deliciousness. It's
Sure.
it's a very full life. But I do have the honor and the privilege in this season of life to have time where I can be still and quiet.
Mm.
And that's part of certainly expansion. It's what makes me valuable because I can take Wendy and hold space for you
Mhm.
because you're being the taxi cab and doing all these things. And it's very important the season that you're in. But just remember it's a season.
Oh,
It is
yes.
a
Yes.
season.
And I also have that practice in the morning. I get up at 4:45 every morning and I hold
Mhm.
that beautiful sacred
Mhm.
space for myself
So important.
and then wake her up at 7. So she gets the very best of
Yeah,
me,
she gets a good one. It's like, you don't want to be with me if I hadn't had quiet time.
right? For
You do not want to
sure.
be with that version of Jan Goss.
Yes, right. And I just want to say, even though I am doing that work, I
Mhm.
am still having this parenting experience.
Of
So
course.
it's not that,
Of course.
oh, if I just did these 3 steps, everything in my life would be fabulous. It's, I do these steps so that I can be fabulous in
Mhm.
everything in my life.
Exactly. Well, and that is alignment.
Mhm.
That is alignment. Which is part of Show Up Well. That's a huge piece of what Show Up Well consulting is about alignment. It's individual alignment, it's company alignment, it's team alignment. What would the world look like if everyone actually showed up and showed up well in alignment? Like,
Right.
oh my goodness, it's a beautiful world.
It is. It
Hmm.
is. That is delicious.
Hmm.
What are you finding are a few of the common roadblocks to people's resistance around showing up well?
Hmm. Comparison is a killer.
Mhm.
Comparison is a tough one. And especially in the younger generation, I am so I'm passionate and compassionate about protocols and connecting correctly. And I think about these children, these young lives, and there is so much comparison. Like I had it growing up, and I'm a
Mhm.
grandmother now. And, comparison has been around from the beginning, right? So it's not about eradicating comparison, but they do have more pressure on
Mhm.
them because communication levels are so high through electronic devices.
Sure.
And so I think, showing up well as yourself, if you can take that comparison and actually turn it into, oh, I really like that about them.
Right.
That seems to fit on me too.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I really don't care for that attribute in that person at all. I want to make sure that, like, I go and cut that out of my life. I don't want that in my life. So it's kind of this do want, don't want process. And we
Mhm.
actually have formulas for that and sessions for that and experiences for that where you really can get clear about that. But comparison is a problem in terms of people's minds,
Mhm.
what goes on with the inner chatter, the monkey brain, as I call it.
Right.
And then, it's fear. Fear is shows up in so many different ways. And so just acknowledging it and learning not to be afraid of fear, if that makes sense, and
Right.
really looking at it and going, oh, I feel really, 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 really scared about this. And again, loving yourself enough to be okay with that. Play in that mud pie.
Right.
Like, have fun with it. Make mud pies. It's like, oh my gosh, I was so scared.
Yes.
Because when you face scary things, and we can do that,
Mhm.
then when you get to bigger scary things, the thing that you thought was so scary back there is like, meh, meh.
Right.
It's so easy now. And so it's the same way with the next and the next and the next. And that is expansion. I think, it is human nature that when you're entering into the unknown, of course it feels scary.
Sure.
Of course it does. So comparison, fear, those are probably the biggies.
Right.
Hmm.
I am a part of my morning practice is that I'm a student of A Course in Miracles, and
Oh,
the
okay.
whole premise of this text is dismantling a thought system that's based in fear and
Hmm.
replacing it with a thought system based on love. And
Now
it's
you're getting into my hot spots.
right. It's
Yes.
so good because it's this understanding that only love exists and everything else is an illusion. Like it is a cry for love. So, how can we put on our love glasses as we are looking through this and know that we can either have fear or we can have love, and they can't coexist.
Exactly. So, one of the delicious things that I am excited about is a new initiative through Show Up Well Consulting, and it's called Lead with Love.
Mm.
Because how we show up well in the corporate arena
Mhm.
is we lead with love. So we are taking out the delineation between love belongs in your personal life,
Right.
not in your professional life. Okay, hold on, hold on. Do you want people to love their job or hate their job?
Right.
Do you want them to love their employer or hate their employer? There is so much room to live a life of love
Yes.
where it's not soft. I'm talking value systems. I'm talking
Mhm.
appreciation. I'm talking employees showing up and showing up well because they are excited because they feel valued in the marketplace. And
Mhm.
what do you think that does to a company's bottom line? So when you begin to bring love brings cohesion, fear separates. Love
Exactly.
brings cohesion. So many companies, when I think about them, the ones that I've had the honor to work with, it's kind of like this. Okay, I'm single now. So I'm thinking this big, gorgeous guy.
Yes.
Forgive me of my brain, but that's all right.
No, I love it. I'm single now too. I'll look at your big gorgeous
You
guy.
know, and he's all that and a bag of chips, and he looks so good, but on the inside his bones are disjointed.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think we've done that in business where we try to be really shiny on the outside, and not just in business and personal life too, but my focus is in the business sector. And so we built these shiny businesses, but the systems aren't in place or things are so disjointed, and the oil that keeps things moving is love,
Yes.
appreciation, gratitude. So, bringing these spiritual principles into the workplace is an absolute recipe for success.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And especially as you were mentioning, a younger generation entering the workforce, that the old way of doing everything is not
It's
working.
gone.
Our
It's
old way of
gone.
parenting, our old way of
Mhm.
education, our old way of life as we know it, it's not working.
Bye, dinosaur.
Mhm.
I know.
Right. And the way to usher it in and the way to be successful always, no matter what, is to lead with love.
Hmm.
Can you explain the difference? Because I know sometimes we think that love means tolerance.
Hmm.
And we're not talking about tolerating bad behavior and just putting a happy face sticker on it. So,
Hmm.
can you explain the difference
Hmm.
in how you are coaching and consulting your
Sure.
clients?
Sure. So it's the idea of lead with love. If we begin to just raise the consciousness and the awareness that that's the foot we step out on, you lead with love, and appreciation and love are it's almost the same vibration that
Right.
you're putting out. And so when you lead with that, so say you have an employee and they have some bad behavior going on. So you lead with, Wendy, first of all, I want you to know how much I appreciate your la 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 la. But I mean, coming from a place of appreciation, not flowers and not fake. You can't fake out this next generation.
Nope.
They don't fake. And so, but they do know when it's resonating, when you really mean it, like, here's what you've done well. And this is in complete alignment with our company culture because we show up well. And here's how you have shown up well. What I see is out of alignment is ABC.
Hmm.
This is not in alignment with leading with love or showing up well.
Yeah.
And so, what do you see? See, it's a more hands on, compassionate approach. It might take 5 minutes longer, a little bit longer, But the result is true transformation because
Exactly.
either, if you're rubbing the cat's fur the wrong way, let the cat turn around. Give them a chance to turn around. And if not, maybe they're not a right fit, and that's okay too. They need
Totally.
to find the space where they are the right fit. So when I come on as a consultant, I'm very clear and frank in these discussions that either you fit in with the show up well culture, you sign on for the show up well. This is a company culture is not just a slogan.
Right.
It is building an organization from the inside out and where you speak the same language.
Right.
And so if people aren't on board for that, there is no blame, shame, or guilt. That's the number one rule in Show Up Well. In the Show Up Well world, there's no blame, not allowed, no shame, and no guilt. So when you take those out and then you have conversations, it's easy to lead with love and then let people have the dignity of the power of choice
Mhm.
to make choices about their own life. But you hold strong the boundaries of your company culture.
Right.
So that's
Right.
how that works.
I love it. And as like I said, I'm in this parenting situation, and I love that model, it works for every aspect of our life. And, I'm not necessarily offering a severance package to Amelia if she thinks this is not the organization for her.
Right.
But there's a role in it. It's
Mhm.
saying this is how our family is functioning,
Exactly.
how my home is functioning,
The clarity up front.
right?
Right.
And these are the expectations you can have of me. These
Uh-huh.
are the expectations I have of you. Is there
Mhm.
anything you would like to edit? This is the conversation we are actually having this afternoon as I
Mhm.
created my agreements today. And is there anything you want to edit? And
Mhm.
how are we going to enter into this 12th year of your life? Well, 13th year
Mhm.
of her life. She just turned 12, to do this well, to do
Mhm.
this so that we are growing and expanding, because
Mhm.
things change in the dynamics of our relationships. We
Mhm.
change, and not everyone is going to get on board with our growth and expansion. And sometimes this is the opportunity for them to choose a different path. Not available for Amelia, but it was available for her dad. And he chose a different path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and such is life.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Right. And, you were talking about no place for fear in these situations. And fear, we can be afraid of fear, we can avoid fear, or we can look at what is this revealing to me. We know the acronym, false evidence appearing real. And sometimes when we hear that so much, it doesn't land anymore.
Mhm.
But I heard a woman who was on the podcast several months ago, Alice Sabig, said that fear is courage wanting to be heard,
Mhm. Well said.
which I think is so fascinating. Like, what am I? Sometimes we do think that we're looking for answers or we're looking for a decision, but what we are really looking for is courage.
Mhm. It's good. And that being said, it really is the spirit behind the words.
Yeah.
It's the spirit behind whether it's your preteen child or it's the CEO of a company or an employee. It is it's like I could say, I love you. Do you understand me? I love you. And you're like, I don't feel very loved right now. Yep.
Right.
Same words. I
Yeah.
love you. I love you. Same words. What is the spirit behind it? What's
Right.
the emotion behind it? And there's a time for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a time to be really pissed off. Can I say that on your
You
podcast?
may.
So there is a time when it's like, no, this is such an injustice.
Yeah.
And this is, this is the spirit behind it. It's
Right.
all part of the experience,
Yes.
but there are protocols. I graduated from the Protocol School of Washington in DC. I grew up in a military family. I understand protocols, and they're very important. What is an IP address? If the IP address isn't right, it's not going to connect.
Right.
And so we have so much disconnect because we're speaking different languages.
Mhm.
That's why when we come down and boil it down to the language of love, that is a universal language.
Right.
That protocol never fails.
Mm.
It's in the BIBLE, love never
Okay.
fails, right? It
Yeah.
is a protocol that works.
Mhm.
And so the bottom line of showing up well as a parent, as an employer, as an employee, as a sister, brother, whatever your role may be, is that you show up in this world as you.
Mm.
So that takes some self-discovery, the age-old question, who am I? How are you going to show up as yourself if you don't even know who you are? But in a corporate setting, if you take on a role that this is how I'm going to show up as HR director,
Mhm.
I'm taking this on, this thumbprint, then don't just show up. You show up well. You go the extra mile. You do the extra 2 degree. You show up wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
And you don't have to use a lot of words then as HR director because your presence is enough.
Mhm.
You've already shown up well.
Right. Right. And your example speaks louder than your words.
We wear our company culture,
Mm.
we wear it as leaders. Mm-hmm.
I love that you took this model and you moved it from the boardroom to the bedroom.
Fun stuff.
Say more.
Bedroom etiquette, how to show up well behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Well, Wendy, it got a little old working with executive teams all across the country and seeing the same fallacy,
Mm.
that there was so much energy going into showing up well at work, which is great. We want you to show up well at work. But what about when you walk in your door? What about behind closed doors with your person? This is
Mm.
your person, your primary person in your life. And what I was seeing is people were building businesses. They were making a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars, and their home life was falling apart.
Mm.
And so the concept came to me, what if you treated your wife as if she were your best client?
Ooh.
What if you treated her? It's like, wait, wait, wait. The big client's coming today.
Right.
Hold on. Wait, let's do something special. I want to look my best. I want to be my best. I want to show up my best.
Hmm.
Why not?
Right.
Like, how would you market to her? And it works both ways. But
Sure.
how would you market to your person? How about the service after the sale? Come on. Okay, so you got what you wanted. Now
Right.
what? Then what about, the fortunes and the follow-up?
That's right.
You got to follow up and stay consistent, or you're going to lose that client because you didn't show up well for them.
Yeah.
And that's on you. That's not on them. And so anyway, it was heartbreaking because we know the stats. We know,
Yep. Yep.
personally, it's heartbreaking. So
Hmm.
my sister is a therapist, best in the world, and she
Yay.
actually is a sex therapist and does relationship therapy.
Okay.
And so we brainstormed about this idea, and she's, I took much wisdom from her
Sure.
and put it in silos. And what I saw was so simple conversation starters
Mm,
about the different aspects of your personal life, of your intimate life together, and how that tied in with your self development. You
mm,
can't show up well for your partner if you're not showing up well for yourself. You can only go as high exteriorly as you have gone interiorly. So, like for an example, I know I had a client she had been married for I can't tell you how long. We'll get real here. She was embarrassed to be naked physically in front of her husband.
ah,
Okay. That had nothing to do with him, but she wasn't able to show up well for
right.
her husband because of her own insecurities
Mhm.
and feelings about herself and inadequacies and you know anyway, women, we do
Yeah.
that. I know every little cellulite on my body and every little
Mhm.
wrinkle and every little whatever, like we do that. So show up well in terms of behind closed doors, bedroom etiquette. All I'm doing is putting some protocols in place, helping you communicate with each other well, and it's
Right.
fun. There's nothing, people get all goosey about this book. It's like, oh, I don't want anyone to see me reading it like it's like some racy thing. And and the truth is, every chapter begins with a writing from the Song of Songs,
Hmm.
and it is based on ancient text, on universal truths,
Right.
so that you can show up well for your partner. Everything from setting the stage in your bedroom, what does it look like, feel like, all the way to, yes, the last chapter is called A Happy Ending. Yes, it
Love
is.
it.
And so, because a happy ending at the end of any of our days is
Yeah,
when we can lay our head on the pillow and know that I showed up my best today. That's a happy ending to a day.
absolutely. How, I'm not done with the book, but I have the book. How would you suggest, and do you suggest in the book, how to get started? I mean, obviously, like I'm reading it now, so I will use those principles for my future fabulous French hot
He's on the
guy
way.
who already owns a chateau that I met in the first class lounge. Who
Exactly.
also loves Jesus, and we're on our way to
There
a
you go. Yeah,
workshop.
that
Yeah,
works.
that guy. And so I understand preemptively learning these things and to show up differently and to show up well than in the past. But
Hmm.
how, for example, with that one client,
Uh-huh.
shifting our practices within an existing container,
Uh-huh.
it can feel very, very scary. You would think, oh, it's safe,
Uh-huh.
it's known, but no, it's scary because you're so vested, and maybe you have also been so distanced
Uh-huh.
that any movement toward connection is a realization of the distance.
Uh-huh.
And that, for me in my personal experience, that was something that I was very interested in investigating and remedying distance. And
Read the book.
it,
Read the book. It's
yeah,
going to be
and
good for
my
you.
ex-husband was not interested.
Hmm.
So how are you
Mm.
helping
That's
your
so good.
reader, helping your client move through
Mm.
that?
Very good question. When I was a little girl, I had nightmares from watching The Wizard of Oz because I have a really tender heart and the witch scared me so bad. And so I had nightmares when I was a little girl, and I would wake up and be frozen. My body could not move. I was literally frozen with fear.
Hmm.
And what I learned is if I could just wiggle my toe, it would break.
Mm,
If I could just move my hand, because I was frozen,
sure.
but if I could just do a little move my pinky finger, it would break off of me. It's very similar when you're standing naked in front of the mirror and loathing yourself, or can't even maybe even look at yourself, you're frozen. But if you could just look at one thing about yourself and admire it, just one, just even know that this body, look at the miles of blood vessels that are in this body and all of the systems that work all the time and how our lungs function and our heart beats and our just begin to appreciate one tiny thing. So we begin with what we call 2-degree shifts.
Mm,
I'm not asking you to climb this whole mountain. I'm asking you to just make a tiny 2-degree shift. Can you just like your, all my family, we got these lips. I love them. Like I have them, my kids have them, my grandkids have them. Like it's such a blessing. And so can you just love one thing? Like one thing. Just appreciate it about yourself. So it begins with a tiny shift. And then there are actually questions at the end of each chapter to help you connect with your partner. Oh, that's really scary, but you don't have to do it. You just read it out of a book. You just read a question. So, and it's very simple. There's nothing deep or traumatic about this book. It's lighthearted, it's fun, it's informational. It's the the job of bedroom etiquette is to help couples connect, to
yeah,
start conversation, just begin the conversation. It's
right.
I have a neighbor around the corner who told me, she goes, Jan Goss, when you walk by and our windows are all fogged up, it's your fault. And I went, good, that's a good fault. I'll take that. And they've been married like 40 something years, and she said, that book really brought a spark back into our relationship. And
Love
I'm
it.
like, okay, I'm gonna take me home, Jesus. I'm done.
Right.
Like
That's
so,
so
so
beautiful.
rewarding. Yes.
Yes, because sometimes sometimes that is what happens.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's the opportunity to realize that this relationship is no longer serving.
I know.
Yeah, and that is also a time for brave action
Conversations. Yes.
and for courage and for love and for showing up for yourself
Yes.
well. And it's no joke. I mean, I sat in the question of my marriage for about 9 months before I had my courageous conversation.
Mhm.
And that my morning practice completely sustained me in that time. And so I was able to work through what was next for me and to feel really supported by God in that, which that was a whole other unlearning and relearning because if God hates divorce, then what do I think I'm doing? Number
Well,
two,
we bump up against belief systems,
that's
and then you have to
right.
decide what you're going to do with that.
Exactly.
And love is always the answer,
That's
always.
right. That's right. It's true. It's true. And so all I'm saying is that I get that these are either super easy or really hard.
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
understand and what we can anchor into and what we can come home to ourselves with is this foundation of love that if this is feeling scary and
Mhm.
we know that fear is the opposite of love, get out your pencil and your journal and say, hey, Wendy,
Just move
this,
your pinky finger.
right?
Just move your little finger. Yes, take
Right.
one tiny step.
Yep.
Yes.
And I would say, hey, Wendy, this is fear and this is what I want you to know. And I would
Mhm.
write all of those things that I'm afraid of because once they're out of my body, they lose their power.
Mhm.
I can acknowledge
Exactly.
them and I can move through, I can move from feeling helpless or powerless or depressed or whatever. I can maybe even move into anger or rage
Mhm.
or blame. And then, but I'm going to keep moving up as I get it out of my body through my
And
hands.
easy for us as writers. Not everyone functions that way.
Right. Right. But I also then would follow it up. What does love want me to know?
Mhm.
And that is listening to all the parts of ourselves, listening to the fear, and then soothing that part of us. I mean, every time I listen to my fear, it's a much younger version of myself. It is not my future self, never shows up as fear.
We get tough as old birds the older we get. Listen,
Right?
I
And
am living
certain,
proof.
right? But I have certainty. My future self, she calls me forward.
Mhm.
She's never the one that's afraid. So I can soothe younger Wendy. I can soothe little Wendy.
Mhm.
And the love in me and the love for me
Mhm.
is what's calling me forward. And that practice slows everything down. It slows my thoughts down. It slows time down. And it
Mhm.
allows me to not only recognize what's playing on repeat in my mind, but it allows me to recalibrate to what I know to be true.
Yes, that's how it works.
It's so good.
And there you have it, folks.
Ta-da! So good. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Looney Tunes presents.
That's right. There's our song and dance. So
Exactly.
I could obviously talk to you all day. I love everything that you're doing, everything that you're standing for, everything that you're sharing so abundantly, graciously, and with truth and passion. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can get their copy of the book, all the good things.
Sure. Well, show up well. Please put that in your mind and remember, not just so that you remember me or connect with me, but do it for yourself. Remember, show up well. And I can be reached at showupwell.com. I can be found at Show Up Well on just about any platform that you ever go to. It's at Show Up Well. And I would love to connect directly with you, the listener. I do have time for you. I make time for you. We figure out how that works. Sometimes it's in a group setting because there's only one of me, but we make time for you and someone does care. You have Wendy, you have Jan. We truly do care about you and what's going on in your world and your life. And we have the tools to help you show up well.
That is true. And say yes to yourself in the process.
Exactly.
So good. We will link all of that down in the show notes, but thank you so much for your time. I really love this conversation.
My pleasure. It's fun. We'll do it again.
I can't wait. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.